It was an early October day, and after hanging out with my friends all day, we decided to go shoot our pellet guns in the woods. We live out near the woods. Frequently, my friends and I take the car out and go over towards an African Indian reservation. Well, today we did just that. Once we passed the border of the reservation, we picked a good spot to shoot. I was the first to get out of the truck, unloading the guns and cans. My friend grabbed a speaker and he started playing music. We were all having a good time. Earlier that day, my friends and I went out and bought some cheap walkie-talkies because it seemed like a cool idea. So after shooting cans for a bit, we decided to explore the tree line. We wanted to explore past where we were shooting the cans. As we continued deeper in the woods, my friend stopped us, saying he heard a creak sound coming from deeper in the woods. We were not sure what the sound was, but we continued. After walking the tree line for a bit, one of the boys, completely shook, yells out that there's a noose tied to a tree. This was weird, as there is no reason for a noose to be out here. This created a creepy atmosphere. This is when my friend and I started to freak out. I decided that it would be a good idea to leave, since it was getting scary. One of my best friends decided we should stay and see what else we can find. Before the group could come to a compromise, the walkie-talkies started going ballistic. We heard a mixture of beeping and static. At this point, even my best friend agreed to leave. We started going back to the car, but that's when the sound of coyotes howling broke the silence. I looked back, but I couldn't see anything. Either way, I gestured to my friend to hurry up. Seconds after this, we all heard splashing in the water, and this was no animal. It was a deep, loud splash that could be nothing other than a human foot. The splashing was getting closer, and it definitely sounded like someone running after us. My other friend yelled at us to run, and that's what we did. We booked it back to the car. My two friends started loading everything up in the truck, while I was guarding the tree line with a pellet gun. As my friends finished getting everything in the car, I let out a sigh of relief, as things were starting to creep me out again. I ran to the car, and my friend pulled onto the main road. That's when a deformed figure, almost human, running on its hands and feet appeared from inside the tree line. This scared the shit out of me. The weird creature had no face, and it was crawling at high speeds towards us. That was when my friend floored it, speeding back into town. Now, I'm not your typical superstition believer, but what I saw, I'll never be able to fully comprehend. I'm just happy nothing bad happened to us that day. This story took place last year, on October 31st, the scariest night of the year, Halloween. My friend and I were a little old to trick or treat, so I brought up the idea to use the Ouija board at my house. My parents were out of town this entire weekend, so I knew we would be good. Also, Halloween landed on a Friday night, which just made things spookier. This meant people would stay out late and trick or treat, keeping the Halloween spirit alive for the entire night. Anyway, before my friend arrived at my house, I wanted to get ready. I drove to the store, picked up a couple of drinks and snacks, and I also ordered some pizza. By the time I got back home, the time was already 9 p.m., and it was pitch dark outside. Just then, a car appeared in my driveway. It was my friend, so I let him inside the house. After catching up while eating and chilling, I brought up the idea to use the Ouija board. This was my first time using the Ouija board, so I was a little nervous. I could also tell that my friend was nervous, because he had a scared look on his face. "Are we sure we want to do this?" I asked. "Yeah, let's go for it," my friend replied. "What's the worst that could happen?" I explained. I grabbed the plastic board out of the box and placed it on the floor. After that, I grabbed a planchette piece and placed it in the middle of the board in order to start the game. "Alright, let's do this," I shakily said towards my friend. We both put our fingers on the planchette piece and started spinning it around the board 3 times. My friend asked the first question. "Are there any spirits here? Give us a sign." Almost instantly, as if we were in a horror movie, we got our first sign. The light to the room started flickering. The instant shock caused me to back up from the board in fear. "What the hell is happening?" I asked. "I have no idea," my friend responded. I put my hands back on the board and asked another question. "If you are an evil spirit, give us a sign." The second sign was one of the scariest things that happened in my entire life. All of a sudden, the lights in the living room started to flicker and completely shut off. As the living room was pitch black, I could hear stuff falling all around us. I quickly took out my phone and turned on the flash to look around. The painting in the living room fell to the floor. After 30 seconds of hell, the lights came back on. I instantly put the board back in the box. I didn't want anything to do with the Ouija board anymore, so I put it in a trash can behind my house. For the rest of the day, nothing else happened. What scares me to this day is that in the morning I went downstairs to see if the Ouija board is still outside in the garbage, but it was gone. This story took place on Halloween. My friend and I were planning on going to Spirit Halloween. This is because in our town, they have lots of deals for decorations on the day of Halloween. The drive to the location was around 10 minutes, so I agreed to drive my friend and I. We wanted to go a little earlier so we can save time for later, to explore our town and see everyone's Halloween houses. Around 6 p.m., we were on our way, headed to the nearest Spirit Halloween. Upon arrival, we entered the store and looked around. We wanted to go to the interactive section, where the mechanical Halloween props were located. This is the part of the store where customers can press a button and a mechanical monster tries to jump scare the person. As I was walking, I saw a spider with a button that said "press here." I pressed the button and the mechanical spider jumped at me. I kind of expected something to happen, so I did not get scared. Moving on, I found a werewolf. I pressed the button and the wolf howled and jumped at me. I did not get scared, but I did notice my friend, who flinched behind me. So I used that to make fun of him for getting scared. After all of that, there was one mechanical killer clown that caught my eye. The killer clown looked so real. I went up to the clown and was a little scared to press the button, so I made my friend press the button instead. Nothing happened. I sat there staring at the clown in disbelief. Is it broken?" I asked. My friend responded, "I'm not sure," in a confused way. That's when the clown powered on and he leaped at us. I jumped back in fear, and so did my friend. I watched the clown getting pulled back by the mechanical pulley. As it was getting pulled back, the pulley broke, and the clown fell on the floor. This scared the crap out of my friend and I, and we ran outside the store and got in a car. "That was very weird," I told my friend in the car. "Yeah, I got a little scared back there," he replied. Once we arrived back at my house, we hopped on our bikes and rode around town, looking at all of the Halloween decorated houses. There were many people trick-or-treating today, as it was a nice day out. As we were riding towards the high school, my friend came up with the brilliant idea to ride on the long road in our town. This is a road that is 1 mile long. At night, the road has no lights, and it's extremely dark. So that's why I agreed, because it was Halloween after all, and we wanted to do something scary. Once we reached the road, we both put on our bike lights, and we started the ride. When we were about halfway down the road, my flashlight illuminated something red, standing in the middle of the road. I was confused at first, until I saw a clown standing there. "What the fuck is that?" I said. My friend didn't respond. He just stared at the clown. "I think it's wearing the exact same outfit as the mechanical clown in the store," he said. This sent goosebumps down my back, as I became terrified. The only way to get off the road now was to go backwards, the way we came. Since the road is narrow, we did not want to risk anything. We both turned our bikes around and sped back towards my house. The killer clown instantly started chasing after us, and we both sped faster and faster to get away. Luckily, we easily got away from the clown since we were on bikes. Once we reached my house, we were completely tired. "I think I'm done for the day," I said. "Yeah, I agree. Let's just watch a horror movie," my friend suggested. For the rest of the night, nothing else happened. To this day, I still believe that somehow our experience was not just a coincidence.